A co-author with the late Tom Clancy has written a new novel, and Arise News book editor Marva Allen is here to tell us all about it and some other new releases. Hey, Marva, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. You've got some really great fiction novels here.
Yes.
Two very popular authors.
Absolutely. After we've traveled the world all this year learning how to be better and how to get rich and go to the island, it's time to relax.
That's right. Enough of that. It's not trash reading, but this is fun reading for sure. So let's start with James Patterson. You said he's the all-time
#1 New York Times bestseller.
Wow.
280 million books sold, and half of the world are his fans. So, we can say anything we want about him. He is a good read for many people.
Yeah, he really is a book factory in that regard.
Exactly.
So his latest book, Hope to Die.
And Alex Cross, and he always writes to Alex Cross, even though he has many series and many writers under him. He always writes to Alex Cross himself, about 84 chapters, about 3 pages a chapter, his usual style. And this is a sequel to the 20th Alex Cross, and to the 21st, where his family has been kidnapped. And there is a crazy man, a genius, a psychopath called Mulch, who has just taken his grandma, his wife, his 3 children, and wants something from him, and he has no idea what it is. So when you read the book, you're going to find out all about what it is and who the psychopath is, and so on and so forth. So everybody who loves Alex Cross, as you know.
Yes, so and I do. I'm one of those.
And it's a good, easy read, right?
Yeah.
So bring in the year with something fun and something easy.
Yes, I might have a little time for that during the holidays.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to, it's a Tom Clancy book, although Tom Clancy is no longer with us. Explain how that happened.
Tom Clancy, of course, is was an amazing writer and a very, very popular writer. And people loved his work so much. He has a fan base that is enormous. And so this is the Tom Clancy franchise, which the publisher kept even after he passed last year. And Mark Greenleaf is the new writer for the Tom Clancy franchise.
So
and
he's a brand now.
He's a brand now. He's a brand, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And Greenleaf has written 4 books with him while he was alive. So he writes in the vein of Tom Clancy. Fabulous thriller. This is where art mimics life. We have North Korea, plane goes down, missing files. It's of course a Jackson novel, so we are going to find out that there's a little guy in North Korea who's a dictator who wants to make uranium and bombs, and everything is right now. They've found great minerals there, except you just have to kill the president.
And we should say that, that minor detail.
That minor detail.
And we should say the name of this book, which is Full Force and Effect.
Full Force and Effect, so with everything going on at Sony, it's just timely.
So here's the important question, Marva. How many pages in this book? Because I'm looking at this.
900.
Yes.
900.
Looks like an encyclopedia.
No, it doesn't feel like a beach read, does it? But it goes fast. When you're all engrossed in it, and the espionage and all of that. And they do all this, world traipsing. So
yeah, I mean, his stories are just
amazing.
They are
I understand
amazing.
he is absolutely fabulous, and I haven't read anything before from him except this, but he has a series that he's written before on his own, and now he's inherited the Clancy franchise, and I mean, you don't let those fans go away, so the publisher, I think, made a good decision.
The publisher didn't want to let those fans go away.
Publisher did not.
Okay, so let's move on to our last one. This one's a little different now. This is Even This I Get to Experience. Norman Lear.
What a lovely book. What a lovely man. I mean, I was reading this and I thought, I feel as if he's sitting across the room and just telling me his story. It was so well done. Of course, you know who he is. He's the guy that did All in the Family. He did, Good Times and The Jeffersons and 100 other film and television properties that he did. And this book is that, listen, I have been awarded a medal from Clinton. I have been told that I'm enemy of the state by Robertson. I have been on the enemy list by Nixon. You know, I've made 100 movies. I lost a bunch of money, and I've seen everything.
Wow.
You know, and the one thing that was really great for me was his father was arrested and sent to jail when he was 9 years old, and that has weighed on him all his life. And at 62, when he was inducted into the academy, and he called his mother, and he said he realized that he was so looking for his parents' approval, you know, and he told his psychiatrist, my mom said, oh, that's great, you know. And then he was so looking, and his psychiatrist said, have you looked in the mirror and looked at your father? And he realized so many times that the face of this clown, you know, and this absolute comic genius, you know, was because of those very early years. And so, you know, it's great.
It sounds lovely.
It's a wonderful, wonderful book to read.
Yeah. Okay, and again, that's called Even This,
Even
I Get
This,
to Experience.
I Get to Experience.
As always, thank you, my dear.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well. And that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Arise America. Bye-bye.